Chapter 3. Use daily rituals to fine-tune and achieve your goals. Let's get one thing clear here, as clear as you may get on the sub-goals that you need to do each and every day, and as pumped up as you may be now. Please understand that success is a long-haul journey. It really is. It's a marathon. It's not one of those things that you just choose to do now and somehow, some way, things would just fall into place. It doesn't work that way. Things sometimes pan out this way, but it doesn't happen all the time. You definitely can't bank on it. This is where your daily rituals come in. Everybody has rituals. The problem is, for the most part, our rituals are either neutral or don't really help us either way, or they work against us. By being a little bit more mindful and purposeful regarding the daily rituals you carry out, you can well position yourself for greater and greater levels of success. You also position yourself for increasing levels of self-discipline. These two concepts coincide in the form of the rituals you choose. Daily rituals come in 4 different types: physical, mental rituals before task, and rituals you engage in before you sleep. You have to be conscious about all of these so you can make them work for you instead of having them work against you. Physical rituals. Physical rituals involve things that you physically do every day on a consistent basis. These are very important because they center you. Your mind and body can be aligned or can be misaligned, depending on your physical rituals. If your ritual is to watch TV for 3 hours straight, then that's going to have an impact on your life, whether you like it or not. If you choose to jog every morning or work out at the gym hitting the weights 3 times a week, that's going to have an impact on your life, again, whether you like it or not. Focus on the physical resetting quality of physical rituals. Look for rituals that maximize this sense of physical reset where you feel that you're getting a fresh start. At the very least, aim for physical rituals that give you some sort of mental clarity. Usually, people use physical rituals involving daily exercise, timing their meals, wake-up time, or taking cold showers. You might be thinking that taking a cold shower is a form of self-punishment, but you'd be wrong. When you take a cold shower, your mind doesn't wander. You force yourself to act efficiently because you don't want to freeze. You also start thinking in a very focused way. You'd be surprised as to how long this focused thinking will linger as your day goes on. Why do physical rituals work? The bottom line is that physical rituals produce positive results because of the positive association you create. When you engage in a physical ritual, like daily exercise or taking ice-cold showers, you focus. It's hard to do weight training in an unfocused way. You're going to spend an eternity in the gym. If you work out correctly, you're forced to focus. That same applies to taking a cold shower. This is personal productivity dynamite because you only need to engage in the physical ritual and your body will automatically supply the focus. Why? It already developed a tight association between the level of mental, emotional, and spiritual awareness of the moment you're in that you achieve with certain physical stimuli like an ice-cold shower. You only need to subject yourself to that physical stimuli for your mind to kick in. Mental rituals to start your day right. You need to adopt mental rituals that start your day on an optimal level. You really do. While physical rituals do a great job of resetting your willpower, focus, and mental energy, you can't just rely on those rituals. You should also be more proactive as far as your mental activities are concerned. This is why I would suggest that you practice feeling grateful the first thing in the morning. The first few minutes of your waking consciousness every morning should involve you thinking about how lucky you are, thinking about how you've been blessed to sleep through the night. Think about how fortunate you are to have food in your belly, a roof over your head, and nobody sneaking up behind you to plunge a knife into your neck. I know that sounds far-fetched to a lot of people, but you'd be surprised as to how many things you take for granted. Feel fortunate that you don't have to stage 4 brain cancer. Feel grateful for the fact that you're able to breathe comfortably without pain or the need for medication. There are just so many things you can feel grateful for. Why do this? Well, when you feel grateful for something, you humble your mind. You really do. You quiet it. It's no longer about what you need. It's no longer about whether life is fair or unfair to you. Instead, when you allow yourself to feel grateful, you become other-centered. You focus on the objective world, and your relationship to the world then becomes healthier. Consider the flip side. You can choose to be so self-centered that you eventually trick yourself into feeling that the world revolves around you. You might think that that is a very self-empowering way of thinking, but it actually leads to a dead end. If you think that the world revolves around you, then you would become overly sensitive. Everything is a judgment of you. If people aren't nice to you, then it's all about you. Maybe they're just having a bad time. Maybe they're just going through some rough situations in their life. It's not about you. They're just projecting, and you're not necessarily the target. But unfortunately, if your main focus is on yourself, and you're extremely self-absorbed, you become so touchy that you end up limiting your success. You become easily discouraged because life is unfair. You become frustrated because things don't flow easily as you imagine as they should. Feel grateful. Allow yourself to feel humble and suppress that ego. Next, practice affirmations. Celebrate things that you do right. Celebrate what you have to offer. Be aware of your competence and the value you bring to other people's lives. When you practice affirmations, you build your confidence. You reshape your ego into a more positive form that would enable you to achieve more. Usually, we let our egos thwart our success by unrealistically shaping our expectations. When you practice affirmations, you are in full control of how you would like your ego to perceive your capabilities and personal possibilities. Pre-task mental rituals. Before you roll up your sleeves and get down to business, as far as work or school is concerned, engage in these rituals. They do an amazing job of clearing up any mental obstacles or emotional hurdles that degrade your effectiveness. First, practice deep breathing. What if I told you that by simply breathing deeply and slowly 8 to 10 times, you clear your mind and you energize your body? Next, engage in some sort of mental cleansing. This doesn't have to be anything fancy. You basically just refuse to hang on to negative thoughts. Refuse to get worked up over an issue that you really can't control. Maybe there's just something that you're struggling with from yesterday, while this morning choose to let that go. Once you have done mental cleansing, the next step is to mentally cleanse yourself as far as the task in front of you is concerned. Focus on what you know about the task and don't leave anything to judgment. Just focus on the mechanics of the task. Don't overanalyze it, don't prejudge it, don't dismiss it as either too hard or impossible or beneath you. Instead, just look at it as a series of technical instructions. Keep only these things in your mind. Technical instructions should be the only thing in your mental databanks. Next, start the task. This is crucial. Just decide when to start and don't give yourself any excuses to not start. For example, if you decide to hit the books at 8 a.m., do exactly that when the time comes. No more, no less. Don't give yourself excuses, don't blame other people, don't make justifications, don't bargain with yourself. Stop engaging in any of that internal shenanigans and just jump in with both feet and get down to business. After you've started, race through the task. This is very important. A lot of people are clueless about this. You have to understand that it's very easy for our work or academic activities to become time rabbit holes. Seriously. You jump in and you can't get out because it just sucks you in. There's just so many chambers. There are so many directions you can go, and by the time you realize, time's up. Start your task by focusing like a laser on what you need to do. It has to be small, narrow range of activities. Once you've started the task, race through the task. In other words, play a game with yourself. Pretend you're in a marathon and you're basically knocking out all these tasks as quickly as possible. It's important, however, to race, but to go through a quality checklist. You're not looking to cut corners, you're not looking to compromise quality. Your objective is to race through the task, while at the same time, making sure that the output that you produce meets quality standards. This is very important, because the more you do this, and the more you get used to it, the more likely you will master the task. Eventually, you would reach a point where it becomes easy or second nature to you. Finally, Take small breaks, but stick to schedule. For example, if you allow yourself 3-minute breaks after big productivity tasks, stick to that. After the break period is over, start the race again. Pre-sleep ritual. Before you sleep, make sure that you adopt these rituals or something similar to them. Whatever the case may be, adopt rituals that achieve the same objectives. First, write down your goals for the next day. This is very important because you are able to mentally map out what you expect from yourself the following day. When you do this, you're no longer blindsided by the task you'll be doing the next day. You're no longer emotionally intimidated. Instead, you're mentally focused as to the grand objectives you need to knock out. Next, once you have your list going, mentally rehearse what it would feel like to successfully achieve those goals. Imagine yourself doing the work, having a good time, and then achieving success at the end of the sub-goal. Allow yourself to feel good. Let the sense of accomplishment sink in. After that, think about your big objectives or your big goals. Imagine how would it feel to achieve them. This way, you feel pumped up sufficiently so when you're knocking out your sub-goals, you don't feel that what you're doing is pointless. You feel driven, you feel purposeful, and this enables you to do the right things at the right time to produce the right amount of value.